Alright, so this is my analysis of the lab maps for Uncharted 3, possibly announcing an Uncharted 4 release for Atlantis. I'm going to point out some things that I really saw as a possible ability for this to be a true rumor. First of all, what I'm noticing a lot in these lab maps are these arches, which most people wouldn't consider to be that important, but really for me, I'm looking at it in terms of these arches could be significant in the sense that they're either really old and they could be a part of Atlantis, or they're Roman, because when I think of arches and stuff, I think of old, maybe back in the days of Caesar or whoever else. And as I run through this map, since Naughty Dog did originally say that these are blueprints to the possible multiplayer maps, I'm just noticing all these different little things, specifically the arches. So I'm noticing that maybe we're seeing an old world that was destroyed in some sense. If you look at maybe even these staircases, it's broken. You may not see the rubble yet, but the tops of these have been broken off. This arch probably could have fallen down onto those staircases at one point. What else I'm noticing is as you run over to this side over here, you're seeing more of a circular pattern, which kind of lines up with maybe a Colosseum look. Not entirely sure. But this looks like rubble to me. Maybe that fell off the roof, or I don't know. That's one thing I really noticed. This one really reminds me more of a Roman-like idea more than anything else. So, let's see if I notice anything else. I also noticed that down here in these blue arches, they actually are not, you can't run through them yet. Well, these ones you can, up here you can't. I'm thinking that since this is just a blueprint idea, that they're actually using this, and this will expand onto another part of the map, possibly making the maps a lot bigger in the Uncharted 4 game. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I could look at was that. I mean, this looks like it was destroyed at one point where it fell down, and hang on a minute. This looks a little bit more modern, maybe. So maybe, I don't know, there might have been a camp up here, or maybe someone else just built this later on. I'm not entirely sure. But just from the analysis of this first lab map, I'm seeing multiple reasons why that rumor for an Atlantis could be true, just based off arches in this. I mean, it's old. You're going to have to tell that this map is old. Most of these arches aren't even finished, so that could signify that they're just destroyed. They were destroyed throughout the gaming, or throughout the era that they were in. So that was my first analysis of this map. And I'll go to the next lab map. Alright, so this one's lab map 2. I'm just trying to get this video up fast, so this is going to be a quick run through of it all. So last lab map was pretty irrelevant because they just said it was a Naughty Dog designer, but this one really stood out to me for an Atlantis theme. All four corners of this have what look like fountains, if you can see here. I'm thinking that they're going to be heavily water-based. Once again, arches, round, old, like that. That looks like it would be something older because no modern-day game has these old-looking arches. Another fountain. Consistent themes of arches. Another fountain here and there. So what else am I noticing is maybe there's relevance to these spheres on top of the fountains. I don't know, maybe, because those ones are looped. I mean, I'm seeing this consistent theme, and this in this specific map, this shaped arch. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but looking pretty prevalent to the eye of Atlantis. Here's another one of the loops that you saw earlier in the fountains. I don't know, I think this might actually be a building just overlooking, maybe it's an old throne room, because I mean it looks like being here, if they're trying to make them smaller just so it makes it a multiplayer map, this could have been a throne room possibly of maybe an old, I don't know, ruler, maybe. Trying to think what else here. Also, I noticed in the middle, up there, it might not just be connected yet, another throne room, because they're just trying to level out the map to make it fair, but this over here looks like, I don't know, a crown maybe? Like water? I don't know. I mean, it's the color of water, giving you the ability, I'm climbing up here for a reason. It almost looks like a crown, or a castle, something older.
This'll help.
Maybe Atlantis had, or Rome, or somewhere in the medieval times, I don't know. But, like I said before, the arches, old throne room maybe. And then, I don't know, maybe this just leads up, just because these are blueprints, maybe this will lead up somewhere else and be connected at one point in time. But, yeah, that's what I noticed on this, because really this whole spot over here actually looks like a castle, if you think about it, because you got, here's the castle walls, there's a high wall that you really can't climb up, and then there's two entry points, like there, and there's another high wall that you won't be able to climb up, so maybe. And then you got the blue sphere, half sphere again, which could really mean anything. And then, final map I'm going to do. Lab map 3. Lab map 6 was the one with all the wires, so that one was just Naughty Dog's fun and games. But I do remember them saying that, if I read it correctly, these are blueprints to other multiplayer maps. I can only think that they'll be next gen. And this is really where I saw it opening out, and this looks like a reservoir. It looks like a spot where water would be running out. I don't know, maybe it's been so long that you'll be able to run through here because they're still covered. Maybe like the old map on Uncharted 2 with the graves and I forgot what the name of the map was, but this just looks like a possible reservoir for water, where it will lead off into a waterfall, eventually come out this other end. But what I'm noticing on this other end is there's no really you climbing out. You're just climbing out of this. So I'm thinking maybe the water will fill this, or it fills this up, and then you can climb out. Just kind of low-level water. This almost looks like a lookout spot. I don't know. Maybe part of a castle or just a lookout point. Maybe I feel like it'll extend on maybe in the game, since these maps are pretty primitive. The house in the middle, I don't exactly know what this could be, honestly. This could just be a lost city or lost city's house, I don't know. But really this is what drew me to the idea of the Atlantis theme, was this map, because of the large amounts of, like, a reservoir, because why else would you have ramps leading down, other than the fact that maybe the water is running? I mean, that looks like it would come down to a waterfall, maybe spill out the map up there if they built onto it. Obviously, these are primitive. This looked like a castle spot for me, almost. Maybe they're going to expand on it, but these look like these would have been guard tower areas or guard posts, I don't know. Like, these would be blocking off some of the intruders, maybe, or enemies. I really don't know what this could be yet, other than maybe something else with water, maybe high-tech. I mean, it says it's a watchtower, but honestly, it looks down low. It looks like it's a spot to pour water in. But, for all I know, this is just a small portion of maybe what they're going to have on a castle for a watchtower. I don't know what this could be over here, though. Because I'm looking at this, and the only thing I can really think of is two engines. Which obviously can't be that. And there's got to be something to do with this. This has to be broken. So maybe it's just the main platform for another building. Let's see here. Rubble. Consistent. I'm thinking maybe a large castle like Atlantis. Maybe years of wear and tear on the castle. There's the rubble. There's one pillar for that. And I'm noticing a bunch of other pillars as you run along this. This almost looks like a drainage point or something for a fountain, or I don't know. This is what I'm seeing. I mean, I don't know if other people see this when they're playing this. But, don't really know what to think about this either. I just kind of saw it and thought of it maybe as something elegant. Maybe that once had relevance to this pillar, or maybe this is going to be a castle. I don't know. Maybe some entry point, so that once they actually build it up, there'll actually be some sort of a building over there. Because I feel like that these maps are just a lot scaled smaller because they're just trying to get an idea of what people like in the maps. So, I mean, I don't know. And this just makes sense, you wanting to go over the water, because maybe the water slows you down, or maybe you're swimming in this, or I don't know. And they just don't want to give up too much away. Because for me, looking at this, if you have water flowing down here, this is going to be a good cover spot, because it's not going to slow you down, or the water is going to get high at one point, maybe as a dynamic event, where it'll, this is your only safe spot, really, other than swimming over here, or even right here, where it could possibly fill up to about that height. So, I don't know. This is my overview of the Uncharted 4 or Uncharted 3 lab maps that possibly could be for Uncharted Eye of Atlantis, or some other name that involves Rome or medieval times. So, thanks for watching.